Hey, what's up guys? My name's Andrew from PecksMetalPicks. Today I'm going to be doing a quick review of Wage War's second album called Deadweight. A lot of people are claiming that this is the album of the year. Personally, I think 2017 is a really tough year. Even just 8 months in to pick an album of the year. I know August Burns Red is having theirs come out pretty soon. So it's a tough call, but look, this is a really good metalcore album. Kind of expecting it to be in my top 10, so really excited. Great follow-up to Blueprints, so we're just going to kind of jump into it here. Basically, in my mind, Wage War is like the epitome of metalcore in 2017. These guys have the formula down, but the thing that they do really well is basically their approach makes it seem like they don't have a formula, like they don't have a certain quota of clean vocals that they need to do, or a certain amount of breakdowns, or like a forced guitar solo every once in a while. It really seems effortless for them, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. I could listen to their breakdowns all the time. They do a great job of varying them up, making them a little bit different. You know, some of them are quick, some of them are heavier, some of them are like kind of new metal-y on this one. The vocals help a lot too. Britton has really good lows. I love that he sneaks a couple highs in here and there. The words that he transitions where it starts really low and then he builds on it and gets higher and higher. That's really cool. And of course the blacks that he does. I'm sorry that I'm terrible at them, but those that he does are also really good. So it's a good little topping for the rest of what he has going on. The cleans are also really good. Some of the songs I think are especially stand out with how good the cleans are, and I'll get into the songs in just a minute. A couple of them I think it could have done without, or maybe just changed up the style a little bit, but overall really good effort on the cleans as well. And like I said, they do such a good job of making them so it's not just really predictable, where it's like, oh, you know, we're going to scream for a minute, and then 60 seconds in we're going to have the first chorus, and then we're going to go back to screaming, and then we're going to have the chorus 2 more times. It's not just confined to the chorus. They put them, of course, in the chorus, but every once in a while, like, they just have their own verses of cleans, or, like, one line just to supplement the screams that are going on. The way that they switch it up is really good, and it keeps things fresh. So on to the songs. One of the things that really stands out about Deadweight is the nu metal influences. When Stitch, the first single, came out, there were minor nu metal influences in there, and that got me really excited about the potential for the rest of the album. They really followed through on it. Talking about Stitch specifically, in my mind, Stitch is basically this album's The River, right? If you remember The River from Blueprints, then if you look at Stitch, it's actually really similar. The song pattern is really similar, and the structure, especially at the end, is so similar. If you look at the very end, the way the breakdown comes about in both of the songs, it's like exactly the same. So the instruments slow down a little bit. Britton sort of does like this talking, sort of like amping it up, and then the breakdown hits, and he does like one line of screams, and it's like the punch, you know, it's like the call out sort of line, and so anyway, I think it's cool. It's sort of like a homage to Blueprints and The River, and I think it's great, because The River, I think, is my favorite song from Blueprints anyway. The cleans in Witness remind me a lot of a band called Bury Tomorrow, which is a great thing, because I love the cleans in that band. And the way he turns them into harsher cleans at the end is pretty fun, too. And I think the flow of the screams in Witness stands out to me a lot, too, and it has one of my favorite fast-paced breakdowns on the album. Deadweight is another part where we get a little glimpse of some nu metal influences. The part at 1 minute and 30 seconds in is exactly like an instrumental that you would hear from a Slipknot song, especially the drums. And I don't know if they were going for like a explicitly Slipknot vibe with all the nu metal stuff, but that's what I got, at least. I mean, I'm not complaining at all. I think it's great. We're going to come back to that on Disdain. But before that comes Never Enough, which Wage War, one of the things they do that I'm really glad to see that not a lot of bands do is, one, I said, they do some high-pitched screaming. I wish way more metalcore bands would do that. But two, they play quickly. They actually play fast, and You know, it's tough to really emphasize how important that is sometimes. If you go back and look at some classic albums like Messengers from August Burns Red, dude, they played so fast all the time. Once the song starts, it's pretty much pedal to the metal the whole time, all the way through. These days, August Burns Red, you know, they do like interludes, they have like a minute-long break in between, like in the middle of their songs. But back in the old days, dude, metalcore used to be non-stop all the time. Kingdom of Giants, shout out to them. They do an amazing job of doing that these days as well. So really cool to see Wage War jumping on that train as well. The Cleans and Indestructible are some of my favorites on the album. I think this is actually one of the hidden gems of the album as a whole. I think a lot of people are going to be drawn to the singles and drawn to Johnny Cash, but I think over time people are going to realize that Indestructible is actually a really, really good song. Moving on to Disdain. Disdain is absolutely the most new metal song on the album. Everything about it screams Slipknot. Even a part, like, literally sounds like the Heretic anthem from Slipknot. Which, look, I'm not complaining. Like I said, I think it's great. It's basically like if Slipknot decided to have really heavy breakdowns and also have some heavier screams in there, too. So, like, what's not to love? It's like two really great things coming together. Totally a fan of that, and I hope they keep it up. I hope they keep it up. Moving on to the last song, Johnny Cash. I think other than the singles, this is going to be the one that a lot of people really pay a lot of attention to. It's the closing song. The structure of it's way different than the other ones. In fact, the structure of Johnny Cash reminds me a lot of Death Grip from Fit for a King, where the cleans are happening, and it's pretty serene and peaceful, and then all of a sudden the screams and the heaviness cuts in, and then all of a sudden it cuts out and it goes back to the cleans. But you know that the screams are going to come back again, so it's sort of just like building it up and like amping it up even more. I think it's really great the way they did that. The other thing about it too that really shines through in my opinion is you can feel a little bit more of the emotions. Not too many of the songs on this one do you get like the emotional feel from it, and that's totally fine because, like, look, if you do it on every album or on every song, then it's not really unique anymore. The way they did it on Johnny Cash stands out because it makes it so much more unique. But overall, really cool stuff to see from them. I hope they continue doing it. Overall, great album. I'm expecting it'll probably be in my top 10 for albums of 2017. So just honestly, shout out to Wage War, man, for having such a good follow-up. It would have been so easy to disappoint after Blueprints. Also, shout out to Fearless for being such a good label for these guys. It's crazy that they're headlining shows already, and the amount of exposure that they've given them is great. So, really happy to see them. I hope they continue making great stuff. I hope they don't fall to the 3-album curse, which is where a lot of the big bands end up sort of falling off and losing their stride. But I have faith in these guys somehow. I think they're going to pull it off. So anyway, guys, if you haven't listened to this album, I definitely recommend it. Thank you for watching this video. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. I can't tell you how much I appreciate the support. Thanks again, and hopefully I'll see you guys pretty soon.